everybody could look right here, actually, right here at the, I'm kidding, that's not this type of show. It's the wrong fan base, it's the wrong movie. Okay. Folks of all walks, I welcome you to walk with me tonight through these ghost tours. See that? Love doing that. I'm your guide, I'm Ozzy. That's 1A, 1Z, 1I. I will be showing you some familiar faces tonight. I'd hope that you get to remember them from childhood. But maybe you're like me and you didn't have one of those. So you get to remember them from high school. Yeah, all right. Familiar their faces, maybe. Familiar their actions, may not. Before we really get it started here, I'll tell you why you're stuck with me instead of somebody more qualified. I actually used to work the Alice in Wonderland ride at Disneyland, okay, which was my comfort film at the age of 17, by the way, so treat it well, okay? Like the whole, what was it? Right. Who are you? Yes, you. Off with your head! Sorry. A little fun for me. Don't mind him, he's passing by. Okay. Where was I? All right. Yeah, so I guess you're just talking up to past experience, am I right? I was also a bit of a security personnel, self-appointed, if I do say so myself, which I do, because I just did. So when I saw some sick sack of shit going all candy vet on a kid, I did my job. Amazing how fast predators just burst into tears when you tie them up to a fireworks display. Sorry, what's that I smell? Judgment? It's not like I actually lit it here, folks. You think I'd go to jail for that guy? Fuck me. No. Anywho, let's really get it moving here. So, first step of the tour, she's not necessarily my favorite, but maybe that's just because I hate people, no offense, but actually all offense should be taken here. As I'm walking back, also, if you could not be a dick and actually tell me if there's like something in my way, that'd be great of you. Look. When we really get closer here, I will say that you should be a little bit careful. Maybe keep your distance just a bit. She's got bark, but she's also got the bite to back it. So, we just let her have her distance, let her say what she needs to say, and everything will be okay. Sounds good? Sounds great. Are there any names that people want to give me? I'm sure I could catch a couple. We could also sit here awkwardly in silence. You could be rude. That's fine too. More busy talk, I guess. Let's see, what else to say? I wouldn't say that she's harebrained exactly. She deals more in fur, but I think it still kind of works. She's got a few screws loose. As we get up here, you'll find that some parts of her name really deserve to be there, such as evil. I'm sure you have guessed by now, but if you haven't, the first step on this tour will be the lovely, amazing, terrifying, probably wants to kill me for my skin, Cruella de Vil. As I said, don't get too close, and that stands for me as well. You know what I do with fireworks.
We have Cruella de Vil. Darlings, how lovely it is to see you all. Gather round. We have some rather important things to discuss. You all look lovely. Was that nice enough? Yes, ma'am. Right, well, on to business. I've gathered you here today because I've started a new initiative, one that I think some people shall like far better than my last. Boom. Oh, darling, don't you remember? I'm reformed now. I'm better. I understand how some might have seen a coat made of puppies as a bit of a sensitive topic, poor souls, but I've moved on. I'm a woman of the people now. Now, I've focused my efforts on ridding the world of things no one likes, so if you'd like to help me, you'll get me the skin of people who put the toilet paper on backwards. No one likes them anyways. No? You don't want to rid the world of backwards toilet paper? Right. Well, that's alright. I have another coat in the works anyways. Forgive me if this one isn't as fleshed out, but I wasn't expecting such fashion critics here tonight. You see my next coat, and this one is really bad. Seriously, you'll be thanking me for this. My next coat will be made out of the people who don't take the full peanut butter lid off, like they unscrew the top and then they peel off the tin foil, but they leave the little lid bits on the edges so that when they scoop it out, they get it all over the lid bits, and then when you scoop it out, you get it all over your hand. And don't interrupt me! Are you really trying to tell me that none of you have experienced the innate rage of using a peanut butter jar with lid bits on it. Right. That's all right. What about ice cream biters? Any ice cream biters here tonight? Raise a hand. Embrace it. No one here will let me make you into a coat anyways. What about people who wear slides in the winter? Oh, that one's really bad. Bet none of you would fess up anyways. What about fuck boys? Frat boys, if they're not one and the same? All you kids who have stolen my hairstyle, you've seen it. Half dark, half light. It's a trend now. Not that I've gotten any credit. You know who I would make a coat out of? If I could make a coat out of anyone in the world, I'd make a coat out of a barista. I don't like them at all. They're so judgy because sometimes you've had a long and stressful day and you just want to go to what is it called? Starbucks. Stupid name for a coffee shop. Have you ever thought about that? Stupid. It has nothing to do with coffee. But nevertheless, you want to go to a Starbucks and get a hot chocolate and go home and bathe in some puppies and have a nice, relaxing evening. But the barista. Hot chocolate? That's all you want? Haven't you heard of a dark roast? Like, get your beanie-wearing ass out of my business, and then they ask for your name. Bella? That's your name? That's pretty crazy. Like, fuck off! No one likes baristas. I would be doing the world a favor if I made 1,000 coats out of baristas. Has anyone here ever been a barista? I hope you all have a lovely rest of your tour. Be sure to guide luck on the way out.
Lady, we don't want to deal with her. Faster, okay? I'm not here to wait for you. You're here to walk with me. As we make our next stop on the tour and try to not think about the fact that just because I served coffee at fucking Starbucks, she wants to murder me. Let's continue moving on here. If anybody has any comments they'd like to make now, I'm sure I could get them back to her. It's quiet like this all the time for you guys? Home life must be amazing for you. Speaking of home life and families and all that great stupid crap. I mean, I had one of those, but it wasn't the greatest, but it doesn't really matter. Because somebody had worse problems than me, though I guess they just took the family out on their own. I hope nobody's allergic to cats. As we make our next little stop here, I'd say that they're a little dangerous, but I'd also say that this one's one of my favorites, so I can't really blame what they've done all that much, if you get what I'm saying. They wanted to be the pride of the place that they were at, and quite honestly, I just think it fell through, for lack of better words. Our next stop up here shall be the, I don't even know what to say. It's Scar, and I think that's words enough.
Oh, lovely. Room service is here. I do thank you for bringing him alive this time. I do love to play with my food. A bit unseemly, but not unpalatable. All you'll need is a little garnish and then you'll be perfect.
Scar, you can't eat them just yet. They want to hear about your story. That's why we're here.
Well, if that isn't terrible service, I don't know what is. Anyway, it's about time someone asked me for my side of the story. I didn't want to kill my brother, you know. Not at first. All I wanted was to get rid of that little rat. I was next in line until that little hairball was born. And then my idiot brother.
His name is Mufasa.
Fool! Don't you dare speak that name in my presence. He is dead and gone, long forgotten. Anyways, he had to interfere, so we had to go. I did warn him, you know. I told him not to turn his back on me. But then again, he never really had a penchant for listening. He was born with the brawn, not the brains. Those were all left. Our parents called him King, you know. That's what Mufasa means. And you may be asking yourself, well, they did not call me Scar, by the way. You may be asking yourself, oh, Mr. Scar, but what did they call you? They called me Taka. And if you're not sure what that means, waste. But I proved them wrong. I was 10 times the king that Mufasa was. I was prepared. I had a plan. Perhaps you forgot that Simba abandoned his kingdom. I saved that pathetic little kingdom from the rule of a mere child. Because perhaps you forgot. He abandoned his kingdom getting nice and fat in the jungle while we all starved. It's pathetic. And I can guarantee you that he didn't think about his people during that time away. Not even once. He wasn't going to rush back in to save their souls. But after all that time, do you think he ever learned? No. He had gotten used to the lack of responsibility, to not have to care for anybody but himself. All that little boy ever wanted was glory. Selfish, stupid little boy. I was going to keep the lands lush and fed. If only those lionesses would have done their damn jobs, we never would have been in this mess. And the hyenas, they were to be our protection. Traitorous bastards. It was the perfect plan, and little Simba had to come back in and ruin everything. If it weren't for that imbecile. You all sanctify him as the hero. And yet, he stood there and watched as those damned hyenas ripped me apart. Perhaps in that way, we're not so different after all. But think what you like. Long live the king.
Sir. Yep, Scar. Great to see you. Hope you get food soon. It's not gonna be us though. On your way. Now this next stretch of land is a little bit longer. A bit longer than the ones that we've had previous. So I hope that you all can just kind of bear with me for that. And by bear with me, I mean that you're gonna just hear a lot of stuff about me because I care about me a lot, okay? Great, amazing. I know you wanted to hear that. So, let's see, first things first. Parents. Actually, we're not gonna talk about that. Siblings. Nope, not that either. School. You know what? Let me take a second to really figure out what we can talk about, and then I'll get back to you. Something simple. Okay. So green is my favorite color, which apparently means I'm codependent or some shit. Okay, nobody laughed. That's fine. It's fine. It's not true though. Okay, we can all agree that it's not true, right? Okay, you know what? Fine, whatever, fuck it. Something else, since you guys are giving me literally nothing here, and you're making me feel really bad about myself, okay? Whatever, it's fine, guys. As we're keeping it rolling here, any favorite Disney villains? Honestly, favorite Disney heroes too, I just probably won't be as nice about it. Like, who's one that's just absolutely fucking obnoxious? Let's see, that little Ariel chick? She was old enough to figure her own shit out. She kind of just should have stuck through with the deal. In a personal opinion matter of things. Simba, I mean, you heard the guy, a little pathetic. A little pathetic, and ran away from his problems. I mean, we all do, but, how it is. Oh, this is really taking a lot longer than I wanted it to. Not that I don't love being here with you. It's just that I don't. So, sorry about that, I guess. Oh, look, I don't have a watch, but I still know that I'm so fucking done with whatever's going on right now. Alright, we're gonna be hitting a curve pretty soon. As I said before, please let me know if I'm going to fall. I mean, it'll be funny and you can film it, but also probably be mad about it. So, if you could not, that'd be great. Anywho, let's see. I've given you my favorite color. What else to say? What else to say? You know what? Let's talk about the setting a little bit. How are you guys liking the underworld, actually? A little dark, a little damp, possibly. Very, very cold for the underworld. You'd be surprised. The only thing hot down here is probably, you know, the Overtaker himself. So, I don't really know what else to say about that. I will tell you though, you guys got lucky tonight. A certain tentacled friend of ours was a little busy. So you don't have to really deal or worry about the lovely and brooding Ursula. I'm sure she would have tried to take a snap out of anybody to hear that she so choose. As we get a little closer to our next destination, I guess I'll tell you a bit about how I got here in the first place. That job I had, that whole creep that was there, yeah, that didn't go so well. Disney, all holy, good, fun-loving, capitalist scheme that they are, got mad at me, fired me for, what was it again? Non-family friendly fucking behavior. Could you believe that? And they apologized to that albeit paying creep of a customer. Disney just didn't have its priorities straight, but someone did. As I was looking through my "you've been fired" box of shame, I found a business card for a Dr. Facilier. I called the very next day, call it curiosity, call it being broke as fuck. I've got no shame about it, but I'm very thankful I did. The good doctor, she's just been so good to me. She heard my story and she was very accepting, and so my job here has been to do the same, to show you another side to the villains that you may not have seen previously. I think I've been doing a pretty bang-up job so far. I will say though, she's a little temperamental, so just be a little careful about what you say, any comments you may make. As we take this last turn here into her little lair of secrets, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, I'd love for you to meet my lovely, amazing, voodoo bombshell of a boss. That is Dr. Facilier. I will say, I can expect it to kind of be like right around. Sorry, you guys really laughed at me for a second here. Do me a favor. If you guys could just stop here, that'd be great.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my god.
As you guys see, we've got plenty of friends for us tonight. I hope you're all enjoying the show. Well, I guess it's now my job to entertain you. And I suppose since all the other villains gave you their stories, I should give you mine. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Facilier, also known as the Shadow Man of New Orleans. But I wasn't always quite that powerful. You see, I grew up in poverty in Louisiana in the late 1800s, which isn't the most comfortable state of being, you might say. So I decided that I would pick up a few skills or abilities. It started with sleight of hand, then went to pickpocketing, and finally landed on cards. Tarot cards, to be precise. Now I know a lot of you may associate these cards with some dark, evil magic. But I see them as a light at the end of the tunnel, illuminating all of our paths, from the past, the present, and the future as well. But I don't use these cards to read my paths, oh no. I use them to read the paths of people like you, who want to see the end of your futures. While I would love to show you guys my talent with these cards, I'm afraid tarot is a very personal matter, and we just don't have time to get through everybody tonight. why don't I show you another of my tricks? Hypnosis. Now, some of you may have heard of this one as well. It is caught somewhere between the realms of science and magic. But why talk about it when I could just show you? I'm going to need a volunteer from the audience. Oh, why? Quite a lot of brave souls out tonight. But why don't we go with someone who's familiar to both of us? Huh? I'm sure you've made quite the connection with Ozzy in your time together tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Enough so that you trust that she won't trick you anyway. Come on up here, Ozzy. Don't be shy. All right, now I need you to watch my stuff closely. When I count to 3, you will go into a deep sleep. 1, 2, 3. Now Ozzy here is in a deep trance. She can still move if guided, and is actually aware of everything going on around her, but is incapable of doing anything about it. Let's wake her up, shall we? When I count to 3, you will awaken. 1, 2, 3. When I count to 3, you will awaken. 1, 2, 3. Well, my hypnosis is not quite as it used to be. It has been 100 years after all. There used to be a fail-safe word that, if said by a powerful being such as myself, would instantly snap her out of it, but I've long since forgotten that. Don't worry, she'll be fine. Hypnosis always fades with time, and speaking of time, we should continue the tour. We wouldn't want you to miss out what we have. Come on, Ozzy. So why don't you all just follow me as we go see my final friend on the other side. So, how are you all enjoying the tour? Have any favorite villains?
Oh, it was interesting.
Cruella is definitely quite the character. I'm sure she told you all about her new coats. She is creative, I will say. However, not quite in good taste if you ask me. And Scar is great as well. However, he's quite prideful, which I can't say is really my thing. We did ask a couple other villains to come and join us. However, they were all tied up in their own evil wrongdoings. Come this way, Ozzy. We specifically asked Ursula. However, she was too busy doing potions or whatchamacallits or whatever she likes to call magic. And we did ask Captain Hook to lend a hand, but he was already down one, so that didn't quite work out. No matter, we still have quite the expanse here on our tour. And none are quite as evil as our final stop here today. But we have finally reached the end of the road. We are now at our last villain of the tour. Many of you may know him. I'm sure you've heard one of his many names. But here we like to call him Hades, ruler of the underworld.
Thank you, and welcome. Now, I know you've all heard the story, you've seen the movie, you've watched the play, you've seen something. And you all remember what came between me and that twerp, Kirk. And I'm sure you remember what came of my fruitless stand against the high and mighty gods up on Olympus. I was unable to take my throne. But despite all this, I felt as though my story was portrayed rather honestly. I don't like the depiction of me as some sort of idiot, but what happened, happened. Genius though I am, I made a mistake. And I paid for it gravely when Herc ended up tossing me in that swirling, whirling toilet bowl of the dead. Now my villainous colleagues here were able to help me escape that particular nightmare. The only kind ones in that cesspool of shit. And now you've heard their stories as well.
Yes, but get to the good point.
Right. Well, I suppose you're wondering why I brought you here, if I didn't need my story retold, if I felt it was an accurate representation of what happened. Now, the other roadside attractions here, we're keen to lead you on and fill your heads with all sorts of nonsense as to why you're here. But I don't like being dishonest, and in the sake of honesty, I'll tell you something that they have not. You're not here for some sort of tour of redemption, of a new perspective on us villains. No. You're here so I can claim your spirits. That's right, you're here to stay in the underworld. There's no coming out for you. There's no use crying. There's no use trying to escape. I am a god, and my dear friend Dr. Facilier here will help me to claim you mortals. Isn't that right, Doc?
Yes, but you're forgetting the best part. In exchange for these mortals, we villains go free. See, you thought this was the ending of our stories, but really, it's the ending of yours.
Oh, Miss Facilier. Medical school must not have taught you not to make deals with the devil. Sweetheart, I'm afraid that's just not true. You see, last time I made that sort of deal, it didn't go so well for me. You know what they say. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice? Well, you can't fool me twice. No, you and the other villains, you're here to stay. I know this may be disheartening to hear.
I will not kill these mortals for you.
Do you think you have a choice in this?
I have their tour guide enthralled. I could just as easily enchant all of the others.
You think your power stands a chance against mine? Now, I may not have your particular hypnosis voodoo, but I can just as easily snap your tour guide as well as your other victims right out of your magic. But as you will quickly discover, once you're dead, there's no snapping out of it, and you will remain eternally my bitch under my watchful eye, Doctor.
Don't you disrespect me, little man!
Do you forget where you are? You are in the underworld. This is my world. And if you try to mess with me, you'll be begging me for mercy on your soul.
Oh, you vulgar, pretentious, overdramatic fuckers.
You did that on purpose!
It's not my fault that you can't keep one simple-minded human under your control. I've got millions in my domain.
Oh, I feel so violated. Okay. It's okay, guys. I'm usually pretty good about shutting up and taking it, and luckily, she was right. I was able to hear everything they were saying. I got this. I'll deal with it. Hey, Dr. Good job. Lovely. Come. One. Rude. Okay. That used to be said. Two. Me. And not him. Are you kidding me? Pathetic, human, desperate, defenseless. No fucking power, okay? You take over me. You get some humans, great for you, alright? Him? Control the whole fucking thing, okay? You could have control over the dead.
You know, this mortal rat has a point. You didn't earn your power. It was handed to you on a silver platter. I worked for what I have. And I've been here for 100 years, Hades. I've gotten to talk to all of the disgruntled souls that you've left around. And they're not very happy. So, Hades, why don't you see my friends on the other side? You thought you were smart. I'll give you that. But you're stuck here still, too.
Hey, no. I'm not. It's because I say so.
Because you say so?
Because I say so. Because he says so. Because, okay, look. When you hypnotized me earlier, like a fucking bitch, okay? That man right there, some of you bitches said something about like if we were alive, you were like controlling dead people, you couldn't kill alive people. So, Uno reverse.
You'll be back. You all die in the end.
Folks, we're not going to talk about what that just did to me. I'm just going to take my leave. You're all safe now. I did my job. I need my paycheck. Fuck this.
Thank you for coming to Ghost Tours! That's it! That's all she wrote.
Yeah!